Is ChatGPT killing the M-dash? Generative AI is doing a lot of harm. Environmental, privacy-related, even potentially affecting the brain activity of those who use it all too often. So the potential demise of a punctuation mark may seem to pale in comparison, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. In typography, an M is a measuring unit. So an M dash is literally a dash that is 1 M long. The punctuation mark has been used for centuries in English, shaping playwriting, prose, and poetry. You can famously find it in the poems of Emily Dickinson, in Shakespeare, Laurence Sterne, Virginia Woolf, you name it. The list is long and impressive. Today, the M dash is mostly used in writing to elaborate on thoughts, give examples, add supplementary information, explain or expand on an idea. However, lately, the excessive use of M dashes has been cited as one of the main giveaways that a text may be written by ChatGPT. In fact, ChatGPT generates so many M dashes that some Gen Z users have been referring to it as a ChatGPT hyphen. I rarely use ChatGPT, and when I do, it's never to generate text. And yet, I have caught myself editing M dashes out of my writing, swapping it for commas or other punctuation marks, sometimes even completely changing the initial structure of my sentences. And I really have a problem with this. I believe that the way a person writes tells us a lot about their thought process. And the M dash in particular, with its pauses, its hesitations and interjections, mirrors real human speech to me. And so I hate the idea that an AI platform that has been trained on human writing will ironically force people to change the way they write. And it's not just about self-censoring. In a piece for The Guardian, journalist and fellow M-dash lover James Shackle writes about receiving an email from his editor that called journalists to stop using M-dashes in their writing to avoid AI accusations. But why is OpenAI's platform using so many M-dashes in the first place? Here's what Sam Altman said when asked about it.
We have this team that figures out what the model's personality should be like and how it should behave. Mm-hmm. And a lot of users like M-dashes, so we added more M-dashes, and now I think we have too many M-dashes. But that's the answer, is it was just like, users liked it, we put more in.
Generative AI feeds on pre-existing texts written by humans. Journalists, writers, bloggers, academics, anything it has access to. And so if humans use a certain punctuation mark a lot, the AI will too. Following considerable backlash and quite a lot of memes, in November 2025, Altman announced that OpenAI had fixed its M-dash problem by adding a custom option to prompt ChatGPT not to use them. We're yet to see if the company will phase out its now characteristic M-dash. If it does, in a few years' time, the ChatGPT hyphen may become a distant memory of the past, and we can all go back to using M-dashes without thinking of AI. Until then, please keep using the M-dash. There are other and more reliable ways to tell if your text was written by AI, and I would really hate to see the M-dash go.